Dear Mr. President, my name is Vuk Jovanovic. I sent the other day your secretary, Sarah Sanders, message to her Facebook that you should get it in touch with you and explain everything. Whole world got this new information at Congress to stop your big wall and everything else, although they are permitted a few years ago, they gave okay for this. Now the newest thing that you should lose possibility to be in control as president of this box who will authorize you to use nuclear code in such a horrible situation. But the fact of the matter is that General Shelton, chairman of the Joint Staff, wrote in his book that Clinton reportedly lost the nuclear launch codes required to authorize nuclear strike. So it means that he left the United States of America completely defenseless. Any country could attack America and you will be like sitting there in the dark without possibility to defend yourself. So now Democrats are those people who did this mistake, but not you, Mr. President. And that's why I urged Mrs. Sarah. I left her my telephone number. I'm now, as we speak, I'm now in Serbia to intervene and to bring this man to the White House to explain that what is going on. The Democrats are those people who actually made this biggest scandal in history. And as a matter of fact, I try when I learned that you'll be in competition with Mrs. Clinton. I contacted because I was, as you know now in the meantime, I was with your wife's best friend, and she's now best friend even today, Ms. Vivian Sirota. I contacted her just to be able to get in touch with you directly without to pass all these other damages before, to get in touch with you to give you this information. I, as a media reporter, came by coincidence. I was in Las Vegas from first hand that I know even the name of the person. I know how to get to find him. That Hillary Clinton was one that stole from Mr. Clinton those codes, and she gave to some foreign country. She sold it for Hillary Vince Foster. Now I'm very happy to hear that the confirmation again that the General Shelton, chairman of the Joint Staff, is writing a few times in the book that Mr. Bill Clinton, knowingly that, left United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, hold the chair, without possibility to use to defend you. You have these bombs for what? Anybody could attack your country, especially now. Could you imagine today? Now they're now trying again with the same thing to deprive you from being a president. Although you made tremendous success in your country, there's no president who did in such short time such big progress in the economy and such big hope for the middle class to be back, because you want them to be America to be rich again. So, Mr. President, I want to say hello to you and just again bring this man to the White House and to give a press conference to see who lost these codes. And as I said to Mrs. Sarah, I asked your ambassador to Serbia, Mr. Scott, that I was able to testify in U.S. Congress that I know the name and the person who told once only the truth, and who was the one that actually was the biggest spy in the history of the United States, Hillary Clinton. And America deserves better than to have Hillary Clinton as a president, and even in the near future. So, Mr. President, I was unfortunately unable to walk. For 4 years I was numb, and now I'm starting a little bit to walk. I'll be able to meet with you and even to come to the United States with some special conditions, especially because of security. I would like to testify in the Congress, but more or less I'd like to inform you how to get information and to find this the biggest spy in the history of the United States. Could you imagine how American will be now if they find out that somebody is selling the most valuable thing in the world, which is a code for atom bombs. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I wish you everything good, and I hope to see you very soon.
Now, as I proudly stepped into my position as highest-ranking military officer in all of the United States Armed Forces, the principal military advisor to the President and National Security Council, I was excited to serve as a living example to the 3 million-plus men and women of our armed forces that it really is possible to rise to the top of one's profession through character-based leadership and without it being at the expense of others. But what was I stepping into behind the heavily fortified walls of the Pentagon's inner circle? Would subsequent White House gatherings attempt to drag me into more revolting conspiracies? I'd had bosses who'd asked me to steal for them, others to access and falsify their records. I'd seen my share of cowards and relieved them of duty. But never in those 34 years had I seen, or even imagined, anything that came close to a senior cabinet member suggesting I be party to killing one of our great airmen in hopes of starting a war. Was this typical of what really went on at the highest levels of the United States government, the country I had passionately devoted my life to serve? If my first few weeks as chairman were any indication of the challenges the next 4 years would bring, I'd have countless opportunities to call upon those principles deeply ingrained within me as a young boy in a small North Carolina town called Speed.
Influential Srebrenica police chief Hakija Meholjic was invited to a conference at the Holiday Inn Sarajevo to discuss the Stoltenberg-Owen peace plan. Hakija and the Srebrenica delegation were full of hope.
Mi smo došli sa helikopterom na aerodrom i na aerodromu smo iz helikoptera u transporter i transporter nas je dovezao tamo sa ove strane pozadi i mi smo tada uveli su nas u jednu prostoriju gore na ovom spratu. Bio je veliki sto, mi smo seli za sto, mi delegacija i bio je Alija Izetbegović kao predsjedništva Bosne i Hercegovine. Imali smo sastanak sa predsjednikom.
The Srebrenica representatives were surprised that the president himself received them.
Reći izvorno ono što je rekao predsjednik Izetbegović. Dragi moji Srebreničani, kako ste? Dobro je kako ste vi, predsjednik. Nudi mi Clinton da uđu četnici u Srebrenicu, izvrše pokolj 5000 muslimana i bit će vojna intervencija NATO snaga na srpske položaje u cijeloj Bosni i Hercegovini. Šta vi mislite o tome? Ja sam skočio i kajem, jesu li ti lud? Ko će dati ti na klanje, ti ne ideš, ti na klanje, ti ne ideš. Ovo je ono što je on rekao. I onda je počela rasprava. Da li je to njemu Clinton nudio? Da li nije? Ja ne znam, nemam. Nakon naših izmijenjanih nekoliko riječi, rečenica, gospodin Izetbegović je pitao da li prihvatamo zamjenu Srebrenice i Vogošće, jer ima tu ponudu. Mi smo u glas, tad su i drugi učesnici rekli, predsjedniče, ako ste nas zvali radi toga, niste nas trebali zvati, jer mi nemamo mandat da mijenjamo teritorije, ni da nam je to dao narod u tome.
Izetbegović then ended the meeting. Still appalled by the president's outrageous proposal, Hakija and the Srebrenica delegation were paraded as war heroes.
Heroji Srebrenice, Žepe i Goražda, pa vas molim da ih pozdravite.
Poslije toga smo nas uveli na sjednicu, sjednica je trajala. Bilo je to mučno i mi smo diskutovali među sobom da smo bili frapirani, da ne možemo dođemo sebi, da je li to moguće da smo mi dati, da će nas dati, da će nas žrtvovati.
Let me present you tonight our speakers. Our guest of honor today is the Major Feldman. He will tell you tonight his story. He's also part of the conspiracy of the politics. He was an American pilot who was shot down by the German troops in 1943, and he's the president of the group of 500 American pilots in this country who never had the chance to say the truth. 500 American pilots were in Serbia with the Serbian people, rescued by General Draža Mihailović, general of the Serbian Royal Forces. He's together with us. He will tell us his story and his experience in that respect. He was trying to get, I will say at the beginning that we tried to get some other major media. Associated Press, who was supposed to have very briefly even something about this event, because Bosnia is a very big topic today. They refused to come. They said they're not interested in coming because there was so much socializing events in the city. I don't know if Ingeborg Hamperning is to die here or some of these great figures. I thought that it is a similar situation which is happening with us on a daily basis. We don't have media coverage. We not have a chance to say. I want to say thanks to the Channel 13 who give us such a rare opportunity, and we are very appreciative with them. Our second speaker is Mr. Ronald Hatchett, who is a professor, PhD at Texas University in Houston. He was a security advisor to President Reagan. He was a member of Reagan administration, big expert on Balkan, and the person who even studied in Yugoslavia. He really knows the whole factuality of the war, all factuality of the history. And I want to say that we are very, very happy tonight that we have Professor Hatchett with us. We have a person tonight. I'll say if old-fashioned journalism will be again one day in this country, except this so-called corporate journalism, when nice people, I'm not afraid of, I'm not one of journalists, but fortunately they have not too much to say. They have a corporation, and the boss, if boss said yes, everything will be taken care of. This is a great story. We have tonight Mrs. Mike Illich, who was a former director of food and beverage in various hotels, Aladdin and other hotels in Sands in Las Vegas. And he was the one of the people that saved, and he was in charge of 43 American pilots. He will tell us also tonight his story and his experience, and you're very welcome to ask the questions about that. We had also tonight Mr. Dr. Srđan Trifković, who is a scholar, former scholar of and the executive director of Lord Byron Foundation. We are all tonight here because of our Lord Byron Foundation. We would like to, and Mr. Trifković's desire is to organize this kind of meeting and to meet American friends all over the United States, because we served always the ally of America in all world wars. We was always with Americans when in most difficult situation in the war. My grandfather was also a colonel of the Serbian Army, of Serbian Royal Army, and he also gave his participation in World War II. And Mr. Trifković and I would like you, Mr. Kind, to, if there's any possibility, we have some donation fund for Lord Byron Foundation, and if you'd be so kind to give any of your participation in that. And I have to introduce you also the man, Lou Upton, who is from KLV radio station. This station is running at 12:30 a.m. Lou Upton was the only man who gave us the opportunity, very rare opportunity, in 7 or 8 occasions, 2 hours, to say our point of view. Such a country of democracy, United States. I came from the communist world, and I ran after this communist regime and dictatorship, and I was myself prosecuted in this country, even recent time. I thought America is my country of dream. But unfortunately, I found here situation, maybe there will be change in the near future, that the media is not presented the factuality of the war, and our game today is to present you that factuality, to tell you our point of view, to tell you other events that happened in Yugoslavia, and we have this opportunity. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a special honor to present you gentlemen who will be running for the President of the United States, distinguished gentleman, former FBI director in 5 states of the United States, and Mr. Ted Garrison.
Thank you very much. And I certainly appreciate the opportunity of appearing here today, this evening. Mr. Jovanovic, it's a real pleasure. I remember to this day when you called me on the phone and started just raising hell about what was going on over in the Balkans. And to be honest with you, I was quite an ignorant individual. I didn't know exactly what you were talking about. I was one of those people that the professors saying you don't know until you send the American troops over just exactly what is going on. But it's a real pleasure to be here tonight. I hate to bend over like this. Real pleasure to be here tonight and speak at this distinguished table with all these distinguished gentlemen and American heroes. My brother was shot down on the 24th over Germany in August 1944, and your comments, Major Feldman, mean a lot to me, and I'd like to personally contribute to your campaign to erect this monument for the general.